and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Recent news just came out about CNN Plus, but also the plummeting numbers of mainstream media. So what exactly is going on? Well, we've said this on the show numerous times that corporate media has failing numbers, that corporate media is eventually going to lose any and all of its credibility with the American people. We have seen one too many times where corporate media gets the facts wrong, they give out misinformation, and sooner or later there's going to be a breaking point with viewers to where we're tired of being lied to and we're tired of being given all this fake news. So shout out to Glenn Greenwald, who today actually tweeted out something very interesting. It's a very interesting Twitter thread in regards towards their numbers are plummeting. And it's not only just CNN Plus, but it's MSNBC, it's Fox, it's all of them. They are all failing miserably. So what's going on? So in a tweet from Glenn Greenwald, even with a major war ongoing, the continued disappearance of MSNBC, MSDNC, and CNN's audience is extreme and rapid. The number of viewers under 55 watching MSNBC primetime shows is barely 100K or less. These are mid-level YouTube numbers. That's how pathetic they are on cable TV. So continuing on, what will we mean? Well, here's this chart where you have Fox News compared to MSNBC and CNN. With their numbers right here, you're seeing, again, a drastic decrease. If we can actually get that image a little bit blown up for our viewers. If not, if we look down here, again, their numbers are failing miserably. This is not a successful news network. None of these are. It tells me also that people are tired of tuning in and that also corporate media is losing its key demographic audience. They're losing all the old people. How many young people are actually tuning in to watch corporate media? Not a whole lot. And the thing is, and this is a perfect time to ask our audience, hey, let's have democracy in the chat. I know, controversial statement. Democracy, what is that? I've never seen it before. Type 1 if you know anyone that actually regularly watches corporate media. And that means corporate media as a whole, be it Fox, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, CNN. Type 1 if you know people that watch it religiously, like that's their go-to thing. Type 2 if you don't know anyone. Continuing on with this tweet from Glenn Greenwald. The one time CNN has historically thrived is wartime. Yet they're back to their paltry, humiliating pre-war numbers, barely 500,000 total primetime viewers. These are dying networks. Nobody has interest. Their solution, let's make people pay to watch, which is just sad, which we'll be talking about the failure of CNN Plus, because after all, hey, why watch CNN on cable TV when you could pay for it like any other streaming service, right? That doesn't mean these networks have zero influence. They are part of a huge corporate conglomerates that can blast the content with major online and offline megaphones. Political media elites still watch. But the public appetite for these two partisan DNC liberal networks is gone. As I was just saying, which corporate guises decided the way to save CNN from the fact that nobody wants to watch their hosts for free is to make people pay to watch those same hosts spout the same trite, partisan, superficial bullcrap. It's even worse for CNN than Axios suggested. Fewer than 10,000 people are using CNN Plus on a daily basis. The paltry number casts doubt on the future of the application. CNN's disinformation is bad for the country, and its failure is therefore good. So what's exactly going on? Well, we got two articles from Axios and, of course, that article from CNBC. So what's going on? The investment and projections for CNN Plus are expected to be cut dramatically in response to the low adoption rate. Two sources tell Axios. By the numbers, the news giant was initially planning to invest around $1 billion in the service over the next 4 years. Hundreds of millions of dollars are expected to be cut from the original investment total. To date, around $300 million has been spent on the subscription service, which includes a sizable marketing investment. The new company's leadership team still has yet to decide the ultimate fate of CNN Plus. All right, continuing on, CNN's executives, with the help of consulting from firm McKinsey, originally expected to bring around 2 million subscribers in the U.S. in the service's first year and 15 to 18 million after 4 years. They originally planned for the service to break even after 4 years. Much of the subscriber opportunity executive sees come from international markets. Sources say those subscriber expectations will need to be dramatically reduced if investment is cut. Yes, but in the US, CNN launched on Roku, one of the largest smart TV companies in the country, which should help boost subscriber numbers. I find that highly debatable and extremely questionable because, as we have covered on this show, these are the same media outlets, and I'm putting CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS all together in the same group. We know what to expect from Fox News. Fox News at this point is low-hanging fruit. They're just the same as the other media outlets. But let's look at those four I just mentioned. ABC, CBS, CNN, and MSNBC. They have made a career and built their entire institutions around serving one narrative. And that is to help out corporate Democrats, derail any kind of progressive movement, challenge worker co-ops, smear unions, and try and dismantle anything in regards to bringing in change into this country, which is something we desperately need. And remember, a lot of these pundits, they make six-figure salaries, they have access to the politicians, and they're not going to rock the boat. They're never once going to do the job that we see other whistleblowers or independent media or other heroic journalists do. I don't see CNN or MSNBC quote-unquote pundits or quote-unquote journalists doing what the Gray Zone does, or Mint Press News, or WikiLeaks. They're never going to do that. They will never, ever challenge authority. They won't challenge the political establishment because corporate media's biggest investment is to have access to politicians and the top 1%. And the reason why, and I've said this on the show so many times, the same people who own our politicians are the same people who control our media. These are the same people right now also dictating and controlling big tech to where, again, independent media is being silenced, suppressed, censored. We gotta be better than this. But hey, I don't mind dancing or crapping on the grave of CNN Plus. I find it funny. So what's next? It's unclear whether top CNN Plus executives like CNN Plus boss Andrew Morse will continue to stay with the company if resources for the service are dramatically reduced or cut. So let's talk about this article again from CNBC. And I find this very fascinating. So, fewer than 10,000 people are using CNN Plus. This is supposed to be an authoritative, credible source on a daily basis 2 weeks into its existence, according to people familiar with the matter. The people spoke with CNBC on the condition of anonymity in order to discuss non-public data. So CNN Plus launched on March 29th. Hey, did anybody know that this was happening? I don't think so. Why would anyone even care or pay for subscription services for, I guess, a news network that's supposed to be free? Anyways, which charges $5.99 months or $59.99 annually. Anyone that paid into that or bought that, my goodness, why are you being a sucker? Now, it only became available on Roku on Monday and still isn't on Android TV. Still, the paltry audience cast doubt on the future of the application following the recently completed combination of Discovery and Warner Media into Warner Bros. Discovery. To put that daily user number in perspective, CNN's cable network suffered a sharp decline in viewership last year, but still rang up an average of 773,000 total viewers a day. We continue to be happy with the launch and its progress after only 2 weeks, as CNN spokesperson said. They probably were being held at gunpoint saying, we gotta say good things, we gotta say good things. CNN sought to make a huge splash with CNN Plus, luring in big-name talent from rival news networks such as, hold on to your seats, folks, it's gonna get crazy, Casey Hunt from NBC News and Chris Wallace from Fox News. Boy, oh boy, CNN bigwigs, you keep on hitting those home run homers. Look at that. That's what'll draw in the audience. Getting in more of the talent from other corporate media outlets. That's why you make the big bucks, right? God, if CNN Plus fails, I think we need to do a celebration. We have to do a party because this should show all of you that the quote-unquote authoritative sources that corporate media and big tech and the two-party system favor, these wonderful authoritative sources, they don't know really how to run a business. And two, they don't know anything about journalism. They don't know a goddamn thing about journalism. This is all a game about profits and numbers and having a narrative. It's in everyone's best interest that CNN Plus fails, because maybe perhaps this is the canary in the coal mine. Glenn Greenwald is right on this one. And let's look at the numerous times that, again, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, CBS, ABC have lied to us, tried to quote-unquote change their image so they'd be hip and cool with the next generation, but they keep repeating the same thing. They talk about maybe quote-unquote some issues, but look at all the times they screwed up. And they continue lying, they continue failing, and they're never once held accountable. They smear independent media, they smear progressives and activists, they demote anything of change, they want to keep the status quo, and again, you never hear from Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, or CBS challenging those bastards that led us into the 2008 disaster, that recession. We have a huge economic crisis happening, and what's corporate media doing? Well, they're earning more profits, and they're hoping that the rest of us are still maybe ignorant enough to still trust them. Yes, it's a real problem that Americans are still consuming corporate media. And corporate media did a phenomenal job, with the help of the two-party system, to keep on leaving us in the dark. We don't need that anymore. This is why we need independent media. And again, look at how YouTube has been silencing and suppressing independent media. When you have the outstanding work from the Convo Couch or Status Quo or Ford Fisher or Frank Analysis or anyone else that's out there on the ground covering stories, bringing in original reporting, they're usually silenced and suppressed by big tech because they're not authoritative enough. But yet, corporate media can use their footage and not be silenced, not be demonetized. But on the other hand, too, we're seeing that the system that is supposed to favor establishment media is biting them in the rear end, too. Look at what happened to the New York Post, and look what happened to the Rising. They were suspended for 7 days. Seeing the story about CNN Plus failing and its dismal numbers, same thing for MSNBC, it gives me hope. But still, no matter what, we have to be ready to adapt and change in these challenging times. Corporate media wants to lie to us. Corporate media wants to keep us in the dark. But because of this sinking ship known as CNN Plus, there might be some hope. We'll have to wait and see.